Hey everybody, happy Saturday. I just wanted to take you guys on a day with me, a Saturday weekend with me, just to see what I do on the weekends. Literally, it is 2:21 p.m. and I am just leaving the library. I probably spent about 3.5 hours there. My group mates wanted to meet early so we can get the work done, which took us 3.5 hours to do. It was just a practice simulation game in business, one of those games where you actually own a company and you have to do things like trade stocks. You have to increase your earnings per share. You have to do like an industry analysis. You also have to pay your employees. You have to plan for different strategies on where you can get the competitive advantage. So with that, we wanted to be strategic in how we made our moves. So it took us 3.5 hours to really dive into the industry, dive into the case, look at the company that we had. Even though this was our second week doing this game, we wanted to understand what type of moves we made last time, and we wanted to spend less time but be more strategic and intentional about the moves we made. So for us, we believe that we understood the case even more this week, and we feel like with the simulation we made better strategic moves where we actually understand what we did, and we believe that we gained a competitive advantage. But we'll see you actually on Monday. So for me, originally, I wanted to sleep in. It's Saturday, and I feel like literally Monday through Friday is constant meetings and group assignments, which is fine. I know that's a part of my life right now as a grad student, and it's a lot of meetings in between because not only am I just a grad student, but I also work on campus. I also TA, which is a teacher assistant, and I believe I have about 45 to 48 students this semester. So as a TA, you're responsible for teaching some days when your professor is unable to teach, or if they just want you to teach the class. So sometimes I co-teach with the professor that teaches the class, which is my assistant director in the program. And even when I'm not teaching, I'm responsible for grading assignments, making sure assignments are submitted. I'm responsible for keeping up with all the emails. I create the assignments, I log the assignments onto our Blackboard system, and from there you can imagine going to school Monday through Friday, whichever days I'm on campus, and then having to also meet with students that's in the professional development course as well, which is fine. I'm learning a lot with doing that, but I also understand that it's a balance that need to be made because as students, you're up all night long, you're up in the middle of the night, and so there are times where I'll get calls late at night, I'll get emails late at night, early in the wee hours of the morning. Sometimes I can get emails around 1 a.m. with students that's trying to do work and expect me to just stop what I'm doing and answer emails. And I know that comes with the territory. However, this semester I am looking to really be intentional about my time and the way I strategize my time, and even creating office hours because I have such a large class this semester, along with the 3 classes that I have to take in order to graduate. 3 classes is full-time in grad school in my program, and keeping track of my own schedule, my workload, because professors don't want to hear that you're TA in another class and that's why you missed the assignment. So for me, it is imperative that I do all my work on time, even before time, and I take specific days to do my readings and get it done, because for me in this program, I can't just graze through my reading. I have to really read it thoroughly, and I'm taking finance, I'm taking strategic management, and I'm also taking entrepreneurship, which is all different classes. Some of them are interrelated, however I still have to read. On top of that, which is good, I am a part of the case competition team, so it's 3 students 3 to 4 students per university. We go all over the United States basically, and we are a part of business cases where companies will give us a business case, and we're supposed to come up with some type of industry analysis and then financial projections to go along with the case and present it to a board. So that's exciting. This week we have the opportunity to go to Ohio, where we will be competing in our second competition for the year. So with that, we basically meet 4 to 5 days a week, and I meet in between 1 to 2 hours. With each meeting, we have to be strategic about our time. So for me, this semester is really different because I have a lot of things to balance at one time. I'm so grateful for the opportunities that God has given me. He granted me with opportunities that if I never would have got into this program, I wouldn't have had these type of opportunities. So I'm definitely grateful. And I know for the outside looking in, a lot of people ask me, how do you balance all of this? And you're a mom, and on top of that, you're a single mom. So how do you balance full-time graduate school, you work a job, you have a teenager now? Of course, I'm a full-time mom, and whatever my son does come first. So how do you balance all of that with your life? Do you have a work balance family life? And then we also know that you're in ministry. So that's one of the questions that I get a lot. What I can say is, when you're in your own lane, is grace. The grace of God is literally sufficient for you when you're in your own lane. It's in the moments when we're not in our own lane where we can feel overwhelmed. Now, do pressure try to come with having a full schedule? Yes, of course. But in those moments, I have learned to go back to the Holy Spirit. I have learned to call on the people that's in my cohort. I call on the people in my family. I call on my best friend, and I have people that are praying for me. I have people that are encouraging me. This week in one of my classes, one of the young ladies that was sitting in front of me, she turned around to me and she just began to encourage me. She began to tell me, your ideas are always great. The things that you bring up in class, they're awesome. We're looking forward to seeing what you do outside of graduate school after graduation. And for another student to tell me that really blessed me. It was so encouraging. Last semester, we had to do a marketing project. And with the marketing project, we had to present our business. We literally had to come up with a business case for the marketing project. We had to have our own company, complete a case study with it, have our financial projections, and we had to present it to the board, which was our classmates. That's our board and our professor. With that, you had to be intentional about who your target market was. You had to understand the audience that you were speaking to at that moment, and you had to understand what your costs were, what your financial projections was. We had to do the ROIs. We had to do every type of thing like contribution margins, and we had to know what our break-even points were within our company and see if they would invest in our business. And we had to also ask for funding. How much funding? What was the equity in the company that we were willing to give up to the investors? And it was really a good experience. That was last semester, and here we are in our final semester, and I'm being encouraged by my classmates telling me that company that you presented last semester, we really would like to see you do it. And it blessed me because a few weeks ago, God had brought it back up to me, and he told me that this is something that I gave you. It wasn't something that was just for class, but I really gave you some entrepreneur ventures that I would like you to really do. This will be a benefit for you. It will be a benefit for others, and this idea is different from what you have seen before. So for me, I know that years prior to going to grad school, or even years prior to finishing my undergrad, my sister told me, Kim, I had a dream. I believe she said it was a dream about you becoming an entrepreneur. And I was just like, nope, no thank you. I was really denying it. I was rejecting it. I was just like, nope, I don't want no parts of that. I want to become a medical doctor. I'm going to med school. I don't want to be an entrepreneur. That is not what God called me to do. And she was like, I hear you, Kim. I'm not telling you not to be a doctor. I'm just telling you what I saw. I'm telling you what I know that God is saying to me, and I just want to share it with you. And I said, okay, well, thank you for sharing. However, I rejected the thought. I was just like, yeah, that ain't for me. And after that, I found myself going back to undergrad, finishing my last year and a half, and actually founding a company then. Like, God gave me the idea then for a company in which is Girls of Destiny, which I started. Well, let me call Girls of Destiny a organization first, because I know that it's going to be bigger than what it is right now. And through that, my sister never hit me with the I told you so. However, she wanted me to know that I saw this and I'm standing with you. Like, I'm not calling myself your partner, but I'm telling you that what God gave you is something that is unique and is something that the world needs. So moving forward, as I am completing my final semester in business school, which I never thought I would have done, going to business school, getting a MBA, never would I thought before or now in this season that this was something that I would do. I find myself open up to so many more ideas and so many more innovations, and it's really like it's expanding my capacity to receive through this process. I say all this to say that sometimes we might hear a word or we might get a thought and we might cancel ourselves out immediately or initially and think that I can't do that, or I'm not interested in that, I don't want to do that, or that might not be something that you thought you would do. And in actuality, it's the very thing that's attached to your wealth. I'm sorry, y'all. This guy parked next to me, flung the door open, and I thought he hit my car door. Like, sorry, that's the blooper moment. I thought he hit my car door. I just wanted to see what was really going on. Yeah. But like I was saying, sometimes we will find ourselves hearing a word from God or from someone else, and we may not feel like we want to do that very thing, or we're not inspired to do it. It's not a goal of ours, or it's not something that we can see ourselves doing. So we might not even put that thing on the shelf. We might bury that thing, throw it in the trash, and put the lid on the trash can, saying like, yeah, no, that's not for me. No, you ain't here right. Yeah, that you was hearing for somebody else, but that ain't mine. That ain't for me. And that's where I found myself at, until I found myself in a place where I felt like I was being so limited in the workplace. I felt like, why am I in the same place for all these years doing the same thing? And at that moment, I realized, girl, you better do something different. If you want new results, you better make a change. So I remember going into my prayer closet and just praying, like, God, what do I need to do? And he said, I want you to go to grad school. And I'm like, okay, go to grad school, no problem. I know what type of program I'm going to do, I guess. I'm trying to make it up on my own. And my best friend told me, you need to ask the Lord. You need to pray about it and ask God, what is it that he really wants you to do? So when I prayed and asked God what to do, he said, I want you to go and get an MBA. And I'm like, MBA? What? I remember during my last semester in undergrad, where we had like a graduate college fair when we were presenting our presentation for, I had to do an undergrad dissertation, and we were doing a presentation, and at that time it was a lot of different schools there with different programs there. And remember, I founded Girls of Destiny in my last semester of undergrad. And as I was going from station to station, school to school, to really like listen to what they were offering and looking at the pamphlets and things like that, one of my cohort mates at the time asked me, why you not considering business school? And I was just like, girl, bye. Business school? No, thank you. I am not interested in business school. She said, so you're going to pursue a master's in psychology at the time to be a counselor to open up your own business. You don't want an MBA because of what? I was just like, I'm just not interested in business. MBA, no, thank you. She was like, okay. Moving forward, I did enroll into another master's program, and the first semester there, it was such a struggle for me. And it was a struggle because this was the first time that I really encountered racism face to face. I won't even name what school I went to at the time, but I experienced racism. It was a PWI, and I never thought that in that year that I would encounter what I encountered. So it really discouraged me at the moment. I cried when I couldn't go back to the program, and I think that it was more so because of what it sounded like, getting a master's. However, that was not even the program for me. And going back to the day that I realized that God was telling me to go back to grad school, he told me to get an MBA, and I said, okay, Lord, now MBA where? Because my first initial thought would have been going to Howard, because I know I went there undergrad first. And then I was thinking like going to other MBA programs outside of where I live, and I was just like, dang, if I do that, I'm gonna have to uproot Isaiah, and we would have to just get up and go to a new state. And I was like, at the moment, that wasn't wise for me. And I had to say, God, so where do you want me to go to school? And I remember I was on a bus at the time. God said, I want you to go to the Grave School of Business. And I was like, Grave School of Business? Okay. So I was like, well, when? He was like, I want you to go next semester. And I'm like, what? Wait a minute. Hold up. Next semester? Am I ready for this? I said, God was already telling me, you've been studying for the GRE for a while. I started studying, y'all, for the GRE before I even thought about going back to grad school. Nerd moment, okay? I like to study, I like to read, and I started studying for the GRE when I just thought, maybe this is a possibility. But I didn't even know what school, what program, none of that. I just started, I went and got a book, and I just started studying. So it turns out that the next week after making that decision, they were having an open house at the Grave School of Business. So I went to the open house, and I fell in love with the program. I was really like, oh my goodness, this is what I've been looking for all this time, being in the same place, going around the same mountain, saying the same thing. I was looking for Grave School of Business the whole time, what they had to offer for me. So at the open house, I asked so many questions. I asked every question I could think of. I was checking off my list, different things, And one of the things I knew about going to school is that I needed funding. Like, I need funding. I'm not trying to pay for a master's degree. That's just not what I wanted to do. I knew that for me, that was part of my blessing to go to school for free. So I wanted to inquire about if they had any scholarships, and they covered everything in the open house. So after they went through things like the GPA requirement, I felt like, oh my goodness, now we got to consider my entire undergraduate career. Yeah, I graduated with a 3.5 in undergrad, but that ain't where I started. Let it be known. Let me just make it real. Let me be understandable. I'm gibbering. Let me just tell y'all this. A sister did not always have a 3.5 every semester in undergrad. Okay? I had some life experiences that had me not have that same GPA throughout my entire academic career. So encouragement for those that might have struggled GPA wise, you can make it up. Like, how determined are you? Like, how bad do you want it, or how bad do you want it? That's the best way I can say it. Like, you might start off well, you might have like curves thrown at you. Life happens, y'all. Literally, yes it do. Life happens, and everybody do life differently. And for me, I had some hit and miss when it came to my GPA. That'll be another video, because you want to hear what happened for me. And so discouragement tried to jump on me when I heard the GPA requirement, because I wasn't looking at my final undergraduate GPA. I was looking at everything in between, and I was just like, oh, they not going to accept me. And with that thought in mind, y'all, even though God told me to go, I literally was not going to go. I was going to forfeit everything just because of what happened in between, not even looking at the beginning and the final product of a thing. The in between was trying to talk to me. That's the enemy trying to tell me, you ain't going to make it this time. You're not going to win this time. You're not going to be able to do it this time. And I literally was going through a battle of just hitting send with the application, starting the application and stopping. But thank God for the accountability partners that I had at the time that knew that I was applying into this program. So they encouraged me to keep going no matter what it looked like. Y'all, I remember anxiety trying to hit me back and forth when I hit send. When I hit send, I felt like a weight had lifted off of me. But then, as I was waiting, anxiety tried to jump on me back and forth, trying to tell me, oh, you were stupid for applying. You shouldn't have did that. Y'all, I applied by the deadline on March 15th. And they told us that by May 1, we will know. Y'all, May 1 came around 6 a.m. and I get an email. Congratulations. I didn't even read the email, y'all. Just that congratulations was enough for me. I went and woke up. My best friend that was in the house with me at the time, because she thank you, Stephanie, thank you for everything. She literally came to my house the night before just to be with me while they sent the email on whether or not I was going to get into the program. Y'all, that's accountability, okay? She kept me calm the whole night because I was pacing my house back and forth. I was like, man, why did I apply? I mean, I was just going through the motions, and she was just like, but you got to show a word from the Lord. God gave you a sure word, girl. You better shake yourself. Woo, thank God for people like that. I'm telling you, I have many people in my life like that. So thank you to everybody that is like that for me. And she shook me and she said, Kim, God said go. So that's your sure word. Don't matter about nothing else. So, y'all, that congratulations, I flipped out. I didn't even read nothing else. All I saw was who it was from. And that word, congratulations, that was enough for me, y'all. So I wake her up 6 o'clock in the morning, jumping. She was like, I already knew you was going to get in. Like, I had a piece. You got a sure word. When you get a sure word from God, you can stand on the sure word. Don't matter. You can stand on the sure word from God, okay? Let it be known. Y'all, I got in, got that first email. I was so pumped. I let Isaiah sleep a little bit, but I said, as soon as he get up, I'm going to jump for joy and let him know I got in. Next email, boom. Congratulations. You have received a full ride. But the naysayers told me that they don't give you no full ride or any scholarship money to grad school. Lies they told. Okay? So one of the things that I said was, God, if this program is for me, 1, I'm going to get accepted. 2, it's going to be a full ride. I don't care what it looked like now. Y'all, I had moments. Yeah, I said the anxiety tried to jump and attack me. But I had moments in between where I was still on the word. I still was standing on the word. I had to combat the enemy when he was trying to put fear, doubt, unbelief, and anxiety on me. However, in the midst of that, I knew that God said that I was going to get a full ride. So I said, okay, let me make it clear, because I asked 1,001 questions, and I got it. I say all this to say, y'all, that in the midst of it all, y'all, God literally opened doors that no man can shut. He shut doors that no man can open. And if you want something different, you literally got to do something different. I mean, it's school for everybody, no. But it's for some people. And I know that people will tell me, or I will hear that school don't make or break you. I understand what they're saying. What I do understand is you got to follow the plan of God for your life. Literally, me going into this program, y'all, I'm sitting in places that I never thought I would sit in. Like, it's so much favor because I'm in line with what God told me to do. I'm literally in the right place at the right time, doing the things that God is telling me to do and hearing clearly from Him. Y'all, I know I might have went on a rant for all that I said, but I want to encourage somebody that God is a good God, y'all. Like, He is so strategic. He is so intentional. Like, mothers, let me just tell you right quick. Single moms especially. No, I'm going to talk to all the moms. sometimes when we have a desire to do something like go back to school, the first thing we will consider is our children. One of the things I did with Isaiah is that when I knew that God told me to go back to school, we sat down and had a meeting. We have meetings. Yeah, he's my son. Yes, I'm the mother. However, we have meetings in my house. So we went and sat at the table and we had a meeting. We had to really plan out what going back to school would look like for us, because not only would I be making a sacrifice, but he would too. And he said, Mom, you can go back to school. However, you can't miss no games. So I'm like, God, Isaiah, he said you can't miss no games. And I'm like, Lord, how is that going to work? Go back to school. He like, Mom, don't miss no games. You can't miss a beat. I need you at my honor society meetings, well, honor roll meetings in middle school. I need you on the field when I'm playing sports. I need you there. So I'm like, okay, God, you got to give us a plan on how that's going to work and what that's going to look like. You know, Mom, I expect you to take me to school. I expect you to pick me up. And all that in between, okay, we can deal with it. But Isaiah had to give me his truths about what it looked like for him. I had to tell him what it was going to look like for me and for him as well. I had to tell him that I was going to have late night study sessions. You know, people might be over my house, or I might be over there studying. I'm going to be spending the night in the library sometimes, and you're going to be going with me. You might have to sit in class sometimes, you know. You're going to be on campus way more, you know. And he was like, well, Mom, I did that in undergrad. I said, I know, but I just want to tell you what it looked like because the workload now is more. I might have times where all I can do in that day is work, and I need you to understand what that's going to look like. He agreed to it. I didn't make a decision until Isaiah was on board with me, you know. And I feel like when you are a team, that matters. So moms, single moms, married moms, moms that co-parent, you have people, you can do it. If God gave you the desire to do it, he will map out the plan for you. Just be intentional, be strategic about your time, I'm telling you. And take breaks when you have to. Like for me, sometimes I gotta go out and like go and talk to a grown person outside of school, or sometimes I gotta just go hang out with my cohort. Sometimes I'll be like, Isaiah, this is me and you day. Sometimes I need to just go out by myself and just clear my mind. Sometimes I gotta walk. Sometimes I gotta go to the gym. However, whatever works for you to keep your mind right, you gotta do it. But I just want to encourage you, moms, that you can do it. It's nobody, I'm not better than nobody else, you know. It's not like, okay, God did it for me, but he can't do it for you. That is not true. It's just what you want to believe. Like how many leaps can you take? Can you take a leap of faith? You know, what does it look like for you? And get your children on board with you. I've been going to school since Isaiah was 6 months. So I've been seeing it all when it comes to having a baby and going to school and taking breaks and going full-time, going part-times, you know, not going and coming back. I know what it's like. And you can do it too if you want to, if that's what God is giving you. If he's placing that desire on you, you can do it. I have gone to school. I have cheerleaded at the same time while having the baby. So you can do it. It's just what you want to do. Next, manage your time. That's one of the things I'm learning. I'm learning how to manage my time even now, you know, balancing ministry with the added responsibilities. I can't always say, oh, I'm a grad student, I can't do this. Now, if it's a legit, you know, for me, while I'm absent, let it be known early when you know early. You know, like, for me, the best way I can put it is just do what God is telling you to do. Then people ask me, how did you go to grad school and you was a cheer coach at the same time? Y'all, that's my outlet. Cheerleading is an outlet. Gymnastics is an outlet. I have to find outlets that make me laugh, make me happy, allow me to release certain energy, or like, I don't want to say energy like that, but toxic. That I might have had like a exam that day or the day before, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't know how I did on the exam. I go to tumbling. Or dang, I just need to laugh. Let me go to cheerleading. Especially last semester, let me go to cheer practice, because I knew that those was my moments to pour into somebody else, you know, and feel rewarded from just being present as a coach. Next, the grace, y'all, is literally grace. Grace is enough. The grace will keep you. And in those moments when you feel like you don't have enough grace, just ask for more. That's all. Just ask for more. Is it times where I'm missing meals with Isaiah or meal prepping? Yes, absolutely. I have learned how to call on reinforcements. I have learned how to call on reinforcements. I need help with cleaning my house today. I need help with cooking today. I might need help with cooking for the week. I need to wash clothes. I'm all over the place. I got case studies. I got finance. I got accounting. But call on people when you're in those places. Like you might find a support system that you never even knew existed. Those are the type of things that I found out in grad school. And last, y'all, it's just a season. It's not forever. Like, I look at going to grad school as an investment in my future. It's an investment now that's going to reward me later. When you're strategic and you have a plan, yeah, everybody don't need it. Everybody doesn't choose to go. But if God tells you to go, that's what he told you to do. And that's my life and that's my story. It's for me and it's what he called me to do. And however, I know that seasons do change. And my season of grad school is coming to the end. Literally, I say 11 weeks, but it's actually 13 weeks until I graduate. Praise the Lord. I'm excited about it. And I know that what I put in is what I'm going to get out. So I want to encourage you guys, be encouraged. Seasons do change. Do what God is telling you to do. He will give you the steps to take. Just be intentional. Be strategic. Seek help if you need to. Take a break when you need to. Laugh when you need to. Have fun when you need to. Balance when you need to. If you don't know how to balance, it's okay, because we all learn. Just do what God is calling you to do. And in that, your gift literally will make room for you and it will sit you before kings. Have a great Saturday. I love you guys. I hope this encouraged somebody. I know it's kind of long, but I had to just say what was on my heart today as I was coming from the library. Love you guys and enjoy your day.